Hello, and welcome to another episode of Tribunal of the Grid, where we talk about all things Power Rangers, including the actors that play them. My name is Brandon.
Hey, I'm Lena.
And I'm Will.
And today, we are going to be talking about Dino Fury episodes 3 and 4. But first, before we do that, we have a fourth person on the line today. We have a fourth person joining us.
It is I, ASDECLASSIFIED.
Hey!
Welcome back.
And what's up, guys? How are y'all doing?
Pretty good.
We are good.
We doing good. Thank you for joining us today.
I'm glad to be here. Let's get into it. Yeah.
Hey, yes. But before we do that, though, we got to pimp out your stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, what are you doing on your page, ASDECLASSIFIED, Arron? What's going on over there?
Things when I get around to it. But yeah, I make a lot of Power Ranger related videos. Have a YouTube channel, ASDECLASSIFIED. I'm sure the links will be on here somewhere. But yeah, I have my own YouTube channel. I do my own reviews of Power Rangers Dino Fury and other seasons, and also talk about the classic seasons, any topic idea that comes in my head. So yeah, you should check it out if you don't already follow me on there.
Yes, please do, because he will have you rolling. There are so many things I have listened to from his show on YouTube, and it is hilarious. So check it out.
Oh,
I mean,
thanks.
And
okay.
If you don't know the links, don't worry. We got you. It will be in our description down below.
Gracias.
Ooh, you better say that. You better say that down below. You better do that, Elena. Ooh. But today we are going to be talking about Dino Fury episodes 3 and 4. Like I said,
finally, it feels like forever since we last talked with Dino Fury, and I don't mean that sarcastically too. Like, finally, we get to talk about it.
Right, because I mean, don't get me wrong. Now, the show itself has been absolutely wonderful, but dang, like, it's been hard trying to. First of all, we had that whole situation with the Kids' Choice Awards. So that was just kind of like, okay, girl. But then, we had to take a little break because, we had some other things that happened. You know what I'm saying? We had our other interview, so we was just like, you know what? Let's just go ahead and combine 3 and 4, and give the people a good show. So without further ado, let's get into it. So episode 3. Now, when we first start off, we see our brother Zato sitting there with this little red necklace or whatever, trying, thinking about his mama and all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? And can we just go ahead and start out with Mom? We got another mom, and she black.
And she had a natural hair.
With natural hair, honey. I'm sitting here looking at Mama like, first of all, Mom is fine. And not only is she fine, but she's black. I'm like, we love to see it.
Can you imagine if I forgot was it Ravcon? Can you imagine if that planet is inhabited by like mostly black people? How crazy would that be?
First of
how
all,
lovely would that be?
First of all, if that is the planet, give us that. Give us Ravcon with all black people. Do that, because that would be freaking amazing.
That's something we never see.
Right. A planet full of black people? Okay. Yes. I mean, technically, Earth. Well, we're not gonna get into the politics of that.
I can imagine the folks that would be just outraged by this, but
well, first of all, no offense, but bump them.
Yeah.
Bump them, because how many times have we seen white aliens inhabited whole planets? Like, so if you don't like a planet full of black people, then I mean, the only thing that I can think of is you're a racist. So there's that. So then, of course, he's sitting there thinking about his mama, and then all of a sudden, Amelia come over there, bending down like the lady, like the black lady with the
pink blazer.
With the pink blazer. That meme is great. Oh my god! First of all, can we just say Amelia is turning into a meme, and I love it. Like as of lately, she's been very meme worthy. I'm like, what is this?
Well, she just worked for what? Was it Buzz Blast?
Yeah.
So I can totally see her being a whole meme. Like, look at them be tapping into the culture today.
For real. For real. I'm just like, okay, girl. Like, you are becoming very meme worthy, and I love it. But yeah, she is just standing there talking to him, asking him about home. When I think of home, I think of a place. He turned into Dorothy from The Wiz, and I'm just like, come on, Zato, you better reminisce. And so, now let's talk for a second, right? Now, the whole Jewel situation and all of that, and introducing moms and introducing all this stuff about his backstory. What do y'all think about it? Like so far with Zato?
I love it. I love the fact that we get to know more of him as an alien, what he did on his planet. Obviously we got another mom, so that's really cool. I love it.
I enjoyed it. It's nice to see him actually be given a backstory, because him being from another planet and from such a long time ago, like there's a whole bunch of story there, and the fact that they're actually kind of delving into it is it's nice. It's nice. I appreciate that.
Well, I say that I agree with everyone else. I do like what they've told us so far with his backstory. I guess I'm just a little impatient. Like I really want to know more, like right now. So, so I just have to relax a little bit. But yeah, I really do like this. I like that we saw his mom. I like that she's black. I like the little, she hugging him and sad that he's a knight and never give up, son. I'm like, okay, a little Wild 4C, but yeah, I like the clip. It was cute.
Well, I mean, it's Wild 4C in a good way, because I'm like, it could have easily went real south, and it could have been like, never give up, like the entire episode. And it's like, oh no. Oh no, we ain't doing that now. Like, no, I do not want to hear never give up for like 20 minutes. Nah, I'm good.
But I do like that they like the episode kind of dove into like his sadness of being the only, or potentially being the only one left on this planet. Maybe there's somebody there, but he doesn't know for sure. He doesn't know how to find out. So I like that in this episode.
Right?
Yeah, and it's
like 65 million years old or billion years old. I don't even know. But like, going back to the beginning where he woke up and he's like, what do you mean? All these years have gone past me. What? What?
Yeah, I mean, it's that kind of like this dude, first of all, he's like basically a fish out of water, but they're not playing it up in like a silly, like, oh man, I'm doing all the wacky, quirky things. Like, no, it's not like that with him at all. Like, they're actually being sincere to his character and actually like treating him like, yes, he is actually, a fish out of water, but he's not stupid. Like, he's not, because like this show loves to do that with characters that are like aliens. They love to make them out to be stupid, and it's like, no, he's not a stupid guy at all. Yeah. So I appreciate that.
I really hate that trope. I really do. So I'm appreciative that they're not really going down that route that much with Zato, because yeah, that trope, like in any show, kind of annoys me. Like the only time that I guess it didn't annoy me in Power Rangers was like in Space with Andros, when they did that random episode where he joined a gang. Like that episode always entertains me. So, yeah, so that's like the only time where it's like, okay, he's being stupid, but I'm entertained by it. Every other time it kind of annoys me.
And then the thing is, though, with that episode in particular, the funny part about that episode is that's actually one of my favorite episodes of In Space. Nice. It's one of my favorites because it's like he literally had no idea that they were bad people. And like when you think about it, he wouldn't. Like that's the gag. Like he wouldn't think they're bad people because they lied to him so well and like gooped and gagged him so well that it was like, you know, oh, they're cool people. They're my friends. You know, they're not doing anything wrong. So, I mean, it makes sense that he would be tricked into, you know, being a part of their game. Because they really didn't like come out, you know, jumping him or no mess like that. Like initiations. Like they didn't do no mess like that.
God.
You know what I'm saying? Like they just kind of took him in as a friend and was like, yo, what's good? You know, and plus we got some, you know, some good little bits from Andale. You know, we love Adele, honey. We love Adele.
Yes.
So, you know, we got some little good bits from her. So I'm like, okay, like I actually like that little piece of episode. So it was cute. But the one thing about this particular episode with Zato is that it was a Zato focused episode, but everybody got something to do. Like it just didn't feel like Red Ranger all the time, like previous seasons have. You know, it's just like everybody got something. Everybody felt like they played a part. And the banter between Amelia and Ollie was adorable.
So cute. Oh, I think after seeing this now, I don't actually think they're going to be made into a love interest. And I really hope not, because then I feel like that would just ruin it for me. Those are just
That's interesting because after seeing this, I totally think that it's going to happen. And I by what they're doing, by the little bit that we've seen so far, I think that they're going to make it feel natural. I think I'm going to enjoy watching it happen because they definitely have chemistry. They have that that like antagonizing type chemistry where it's so good seeing them. It's so entertaining seeing them at odds. But it reminds me of like Cordy and Xander from Buffy. Like they hate each other right now, but they might. I think they're gonna fall for each other. I think what was her name? Madam. What's her name? Madam.
Oh, I know the fortune person, right?
The fortune teller that they went to. Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
I think that the fortune that she gave them is actually going to turn into be like a reality, that they're going to have many happy years together.
I hope not, because I don't know. I just really like them as friends, and I like how Ollie's still so salty about the whole net thing. You know, like I just love it. I just hope they don't change that for me. What are your thoughts, Aaron?
I'm kind of more inclined with Will. I feel like I didn't even think of them being in a relationship until this episode.
Right.
So I was like, okay, they're probably gonna put them together. But I'd be okay if they didn't do it. You know, just because I don't know, Power Ranger relationships these days don't interest me that much. So I'd be okay either way. But I definitely can see them doing it.
And also, like, if they are going to do it, I hope they don't do the whole, like, you know, Trent and Kira thing or Blake and Tori thing where they give it to us and then take it away with no explanation. Like, what? No.
Yeah, that's mainly my thing. I think I'm kind of like a mix between both sides, where it's like, wow, you know, I see it coming. It's like, if they didn't do it, I would be okay with it. If they did do it, I think I'd probably be okay with it. Now, if they turned it, now what I would love, honestly, is if they did it, like not did it, but if like they like actually did kind of get them to be like very close with each other, like actually have them be like so close to where it's like they're like a badass duo, where they almost kind of seem like they're not quite a couple, kind of like a Tanya and Adam, where you can kind of see there might be a little something there.
I knew Will was gonna say that.
Listen, I agree with you. They were a couple, but explicitly on the show, they were not a couple. Like our headcanon says they're a couple, and we know they're a couple, but technically on the show, they're not a couple. So, I mean, I would like something like that between those two, where they're so close that it's like you would think they're a couple, but they're just extremely close. I would like something like that. That's something I would prefer, to be honest.
I think
that's just me.
I think, and we're only 4 episodes in, but I really appreciate what they've been doing so far. So keeping in line with what they've been showing us so far, I would think that what we're going to get is going to be worthwhile. But like I said, it's only been 4 episodes, and we also have a bad track record with them following through with things in a good way for a long period of time. So I'm hopeful.
Yeah, I mean, I think they'll be okay. To be truthfully honest, I think it'll be okay. I am a little worried, but not too worried.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not as worried because I feel like this is the first time in a really, really long time that we've gone 4 episodes in a row that we've all actually truly liked.
Oh no, you putting me on the spot to be a negative Nancy right now. No, I think Dino Fury has been pretty decent so far. I really like the premiere. Like, I really like that. But the episodes after them, all of them, I would say, honestly, for me, they've been average. And I've seen like how the fandom has been reacting to Dino Fury, and they really love it. Like, a lot of people really love Dino Fury right now. And I'm happy for everyone who enjoys it. It's just been okay for me so far. I feel like I'm enjoying it more than I was Beast Morphers, but it's just not blowing me away like how I want, I guess.
And how would you want? No, I mean, I'm not trying to be antagonizing, but I really do want to know, like, like what would be something in the show that you would be like, okay, this is what I want. You know what I'm saying? This is what I love. Like, what would be that thing or those things?
I didn't even think that you were being antagonistic, but like, I want more story. And that's kind of what I thought was going to happen, like from episode 1. Like, we have the Morphin Masters, and we have all this ancient battle and his home planet and stuff. I want more like story pushed in there, and we're not really getting that. Like, it still feels like they're going to wait until the mid-season finale, or they're going to wait until the season 1 finale to kind of give us more story. And until then, everything else is going to be kind of episodic, and it's just not really what I want. So
I hear you. No, and the thing is, like, because I've been doing some digging on Ranger Board and stuff, going back, and I'm like, oh, child, I ain't been here forever. but but I've been doing some digging, and like, from my understanding, Simon Bennett definitely is incorporating a lot more story than usual, like, because he wants to make it more story driven and not so much episodic. So that's why you're seeing, like, I feel like we're getting more story than we would usual. Now, I can see what you're saying, because they did kind of like just drop it in and just kind of like leave it. But also, too, I would say this: if you really think about it, if you're just gonna just constantly just harp on the story, it would be very Red Ranger focused. And that's kind of been like a problem that's been with Power Rangers for years. You know what I'm saying? Where it was just like, Red Ranger got a story, and that's all you're going to get. Bump everybody else, but all you're going to get is Red Ranger story told, honey. So, but I do see where you're coming from. I really do. And I understand that 100%.
I mean, I'd take like just any story. Like, I'm not asking you to just tell me everything in like episode 3 or something, but like just like a little something, like little snippets in every episode. It's funny that you mentioned the whole Red Ranger thing, because I was thinking about Mystic Force when I was thinking about what I would want. Not necessarily focus on Zeta all day, but I meant like how Mystic Force was sometimes like every episode, it would probably be like standalone, but in the last 2 minutes, they throw in some story. Like, I'd take that. I would take that. That's all you snippet.
I don't know if I have to agree with you on that, because that little snippet was always about Nick. And I'm like, oh, child, if y'all give me one more goddamn thing about that boy, I'm like, oh no, honey. Like, y'all got to get. Can we talk about Madison? Because that poor baby ain't did nothing. Can we talk about her?
Madison forgot all about her camera. She lost it, I guess.
Okay. That poor baby ain't did nothing else with that camera since episode 3. She was like, I am done.
Well, I mean, her only thing after that camera incident was to fall in love with Nick.
Yeah.
Once again, Nick. It was all about Nick.
I mean, falling in love with Nick obviously requires a lot of energy, you know?
How so?
I'm being so sarcastic, okay?
Like, how so? Sure, I mean, it ain't like he acted as if he was interested in her until like the very end. She's sitting there batting her eyes at him every 5 minutes and he ignoring her like it was nobody's business.
I mean,
he was like, who is she looking at? Not me.
I mean, you know, he was the whole bad boy vibe, and she was like, yeah, that's hot. I'm about that. You know, I don't know. I mean,
girl, that jump was toxic. It was toxic.
Yeah, I did not realize how short this man is. Woo!
Yeah, he's hella short. Like, he's very short.
Like, wow, okay. That was a very toxic relationship, though.
Very, very. But but yeah, so I mean, I actually do enjoy so far what they're serving us. Especially between Pink and Blue. Like, I think their little dynamic is really cute. Especially that whole little honey muffin situation. I was like,
right?
First of all, you put your finger on my lip and you call me honey muffin, I'm about to punch you in your face. Like, don't ever do that again. And she definitely, like I said, once again, Amelia is a whole meme. Her face when he put his finger on her lip was like, boy, no, you just did not put your finger on my lip. I'm about to demolish you. Like, don't ever do that, honey. So we love that.
Loved.
So let's get into this first little fight, right? So Zato gets stunned. Dude gets slashed like in human form, and not one person helped him. I'm like, so y'all ain't gonna help this whole baby? Y'all like cover your eyes.
I mean,
and it's just like,
to be fair, they were covering his eyes, and you know, I don't know. I mean, okay, first off, I think they expected way too much from him. They really did. They're like, he's an alien. He can handle himself. He'll be fine. Just cover your eyes.
I thought that first off, him getting slashed unmorphed like shocked me. I didn't expect that to happen. And then he didn't have any damage, but I'm going to chalk it up to the fact that he's an alien. I'm going to use that as an excuse.
Might as well. You got nothing else.
Right.
basically.
All right. But I thought that, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about how that was like a short-term thing. Because I know in some episodes, like back in the day, if this would have happened, then the Ranger would be like that the entire episode, or at least until they destroyed the monster, which was like the entire episode. But they got rid of it quickly, because like as soon as after a couple of minutes, you snap out of it. I don't know how I felt about that, really.
I can tell you how I felt about it.
How you felt about it, Aaron? How you felt about it?
I didn't like it. So, I mean, it's not like a thing like, oh my God, they did this, so it's like the worst episode ever. But I'm not a fan of this. Like, I talked about it in my review too. It's like, I like a lot of mythology. This monster is obviously like a Gorgon monster. So it's like, I've never heard of any myth where a Gorgon looks at somebody, petrifies them, but if the Gorgon leaves, then they turn back to normal. I've never read that in Greek mythology. So it's just, I'm not a fan of that. But also with the slash thing on top of that, like I saw that, the official Power Rangers Twitter promotes the show, and they showed that clip in a promotion. And I watched it and I initially thought, okay, so I know how Power Rangers is. They're not really going to show like a bruise on him getting slashed. So maybe this slash also does something mystical to him. So I was expecting that. Like it was going to do something to him and then it didn't. So I was like, oh, okay. So this whole monster was just weird to me.
Well, first of all, when it comes to the monster designs, Japanese people, they love, especially if they're women, if they're monster women, they will put some eyes on their breast in a heartbeat. And I'm just like, what is with y'all doing that? I know we have two eyes and women have two breasts, but good grief, Japanese people, come on now. Like y'all want their eyes always constantly, like looking at people from their chest. Like it's just weird. Like I don't get it. Like I don't understand the fascination with that. But I can see where you're coming from. I see where you're coming from. My whole thing is, I'm more on the line with Will. I mean, I was kind of like indifferent with it in a sense because I was just like, oh, okay, that's funny that happened, but there was no damage. It didn't bother me, but it was just kind of like, okay, well, he just got slashed. There's no damage. But dude was down for a minute. Like, I mean, he was just rolling around, writhing in pain for for the whole fight. So I'm like, okay, well, at least they're honoring that it hurt. You know what I'm saying? Because Power Rangers, they'll get slashed in human form in a heartbeat. I mean, hell, Zoe got shot last season and she got up just fine. So, I mean, they like to, not make stuff like that make sense all the time. So that's why I'm just kind of like, all right, I can take it. I just thought it was funny. And I was just like, dang, he just got slashed and, nothing happened? Like, oh, okay, all right, girl. But
they could have at least cut his shirt. I mean, dang.
Well, he can't be walking around the streets with a cut shirt now. We can't do that. We still got more episode to do. Child.
Okay.
Child, you know how Power Rangers do, child. You know how Power Rangers do. It was energy that hit him. It wasn't an actual sword. It was energy.
Oh, okay. We're going to add that to the headcanon. That's fine. I'll take it.
Right. As long as energy hits them, it's cool. As long as it's energy. Now, if it's an actual sword, then that's different. But it was energy. So, nothing, no harm, no foul. But anywho, so, they went ahead, they fought the little monster, whatever. Now, I will say this. Now, we got a little bit, now I'm backing up a little bit, but we did get a little bit of Jane and Zorb, right? What y'all think about these two so far? Jane and Zorb, Jesus, Jane and Jayborg. Oh my God, Jane and Jayborg. I don't know where Zorb came from. Oh yeah, the sides, but Jane and Jayborg. Yes. What do y'all think about them so far?
I kind of like Jaybot way more than I like Jane.
Oh, what?
Okay, Will, how do you feel?
Right? How do you feel about that, Will? Tell us.
I actually really like Jane, and I think she's funny. I don't like the God. I don't like them doing the slapsticky stuff. It's just not. It's not funny, and it's not necessary, and it doesn't add to the story. I feel like it's possible to have people be funny without doing that. And I know I read something earlier today, something that Simon Bennett said about there being a mandate for a certain amount of at least one scene that has some sort of slapstick in it. And it's like to appease the kids. And I wonder if the kids actually find this funny. But like I'd be laughing at just the interactions, the facial expressions, and the lines that these characters execute. But I'm also not a child, so I don't know. But that just bothers me because it's so silly, and I think that she's already funny without doing that stuff. So this one, like even her being blindfolded, I was okay with that. But the wet cement, the quick setting cement thing with Jayborg, I didn't like. It was it was just a lot. It was really over the top. It was a lot.
Now, I will say this. I'll say this. When it comes to this particular scene, I'll probably say this was probably out of both episodes, this was probably the most tolerable for me. Because to me, first of all, it led right into Jay Borg using the Ranger hotline, which made it useful. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, this makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Because she was right there when she saw the spore become a monster. So I'm like, all right, bet. This is cool. Plus, my thing is, when it comes to so far with the slapstick humor between the two, I'm not too opposed to them. They haven't done anything to upset me so far. Like you, I don't like when it's like it's already funny. Like she's already a funny person. Why add the slapstick? I agree with that 100. I guess to further add to that, for me, and this is just for me, but when it comes to children, and I always kind of have to put myself into like a child mindset. This is almost literally the same stuff that Bulk and Skull was doing. Bulk and Skull was getting trapped in cement all the time. And it was just like, and they would just do stupid stuff like that all the time. And I'm just like, you know what? I can't get too mad at it, because when I was a kid back in 1993, 1994, and they falling in the trash cans and falling in the cakes, I high-key laughed. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was hollering as a kid.
No shame in that.
Okay, like I was hollering. So I'm like, you know what? I look at it now and I'm like, okay, this is trash. But then I have to put myself in this mindset of like, I did laugh when I was a kid. So kids probably do find this funny, you know, and some adults, because hey, some adults find this crap funny too. Right. But I mean, as long as it's not like Ninja Steel where they flying 500 feet in the air, I'm good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, like these people should be dead. Like, I don't know how many times Vic and Monty should have been dead. I don't know how many times. But, as long as it's not that, I'm okay.
Well, a lot of thoughts, actually. Jane and Jay Borg, I think they have potential. Like I like them. I like the idea of them. I don't exactly like how they're being used right now. Like the slapstick isn't really that funny to me. And I probably would have preferred if they made Jane a little bit more like what's his name from Spider-Man, like Jonah Jameson. It was like, bring me pictures of the Power Rangers. I would have preferred that. Like if you were trying to expose their identity, which almost every reporter in the show has tried to do until now. But I think, if you made more use of their character instead of just putting them with slapstick all day, like if they did other things, I like Jane when, was it like episode 2 where she saw the footage of the Spore XP? She's like, ooh, what is this? Somebody give me some more information on this. Like, I like that, so if we had more scenes like that, I'll probably enjoy their characters more. And also, like, when it comes to slapstick, as a kid, I was a weird kid, as in I never really liked slapstick, even as a child. And with Bulk and Skull, I was kind of like Lisa J on No Pink Spandex. I was kind of fast forward through their scenes as a kid. But when I got older, it's like, let me look at some of these Bulk and Skull scenes. I would laugh more at their jokes, like what they would say to each other, than them getting slapped with cake, like Bulk calling Skull an idiot or something like that. That would make me laugh, not necessarily them getting, milkshakes thrown on them. So I just feel it's just all about how you write it. If you put some jokey jokes that work for me, I'm okay with it. But so far, they're not really doing that, or at least a little bit. Like there was episode 3 was the one where she stepped into like the cement, right? Jay Borg.
Yeah.
Okay. So I wasn't necessarily laughing at her stepping in the cement, but I did laugh when she said, "Oh, I'm sorry." She was like, that man was like, "Not as sorry as you're gonna be." I laughed at that. So
oh, that mess was funny. First of all, dude had a whole attitude and I loved it. He was like, first of all, you are messing up my work and you need to leave. You are in the way, sis.
He wasn't trying to help her at all.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, but didn't he walk off too? I don't even.
He may have.
I gotta rewatch. I think he walked off.
I think he did. Yeah, like, I think he just kind of like left her, just like, well, oh well, it has nothing to do with me.
This woman needs help, sir. My God.
I mean, he's not wrong for walking off. He's like, well, I just place this nice cement here, and if you're gonna go ahead,
It was a mistake.
Well, I mean,
was a
she
total
was in a place that she had no business, and there was a sign. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's like,
And the
well, if you
person who
fall
owns
into it,
the person that owns her led her there.
I mean, that too. So whose responsibility is that?
You
Whose
know.
responsibility is it?
Who do you think, Will? Jane or J-Bot?
Jane.
Or the man, the construction worker. Because I'm gonna say it was Jane. Because I think the construction worker was like, nah. And I agree.
I agree.
Jane purchased her and just left her by herself.
Okay, that sounds terrible. Jane purchased her.
Well,
Maybe I shouldn't call Jane. Maybe I shouldn't.
What is this?
Maybe
Human
I shouldn't
trafficking?
call Jane Borger her because it is a robot. So,
I mean, that just sounded terrible. Jane purchased her. Like, I was like, oh God, human trafficking. But
Human trafficking. I mean, we don't support that here, so oh no,
right? Like,
no.
oh my. But yeah, like I don't know. Like I thought this scene was a lot more useful. You know, I didn't have an issue with it. I was like, oh, okay, this is. I mean, is it funny? Not much, not that funny. But I was just like, oh, okay, it's a thing. It happened. Moving on. And yeah, like they just went ahead and they fought the little monster. She ran away. But I'll tell you what really got me though. When Zato was in the command center and Solon was looking, she saw the little feed with the monster, you know, projecting her little her eye breast on the video, and she's like, "Oh, what's this?" And Zato is like, "Yo, turn that off." And he's up getting frozen again. I'm like, sis, were you not watching the battle and saw that Zato got frozen the first time? Like, what are you doing? I'm like, Solon, sis, are you turning into like someone that's useless? Like, what is this? I'm like, please don't make mistakes like this going forward, sis. Don't do this. Don't do this. Be helpful. You know, please be helpful. I'm like, oh no.
Or maybe she didn't think it was gonna affect them because when she saw the first time, it didn't affect her. So she thought maybe they had some special lens. Just a thought, because like she also didn't know either. And you know, going back to how she seen it happen the first time, and she was perfectly fine. So maybe she thought, oh, that's not gonna affect us here. Not knowing
but
it could.
But think about it though, like he literally, like she was. I'm guessing, you know, she was watching the battle. And she saw that it affected Zato the first time. So it's
Right.
like, okay, like if you're watching it and you see, I don't know. I just find that very weird. Now I can see what you're saying, where it's like, you know, I guess her chest is on the screen and it's like going towards you. She's like, you know, maybe Solon might be like, why? Let me look at this little alien. This alien chest, you know, let's look at this, you know, maybe Solon is getting off on it. I don't know. But, you know, I just kind of figured that maybe she would be like, I'm going to turn this off because, you know, I don't want Zato to think I'm getting off on watching alien porn. And also, like, maybe it might affect him. You know, I don't know. Maybe just a thought. What do you guys think?
I agree with kind of the both of you. I did think at first that it was going to be like what Lena thought, where it wouldn't affect them there. Because I always look at, you know, current Power Rangers still in the lens of like old school Power Rangers, because that's what I grew up with. And most likely, if this had happened in Mighty Morphin, and if they were in the power chamber or the command center, they wouldn't have been affected. So that's what I kind of thought was going to happen at first until he said, no, turn that off, and then froze. So I was like, oh, well. Never mind.
Whoops.
Like, right. I was just like, okay. This is interesting. But but then of course we get to the part where Zato becomes Kenshi from Mortal Kombat and comes out with the red scarf around his face. Shout outs to Dan Southworth. And he comes out ready to kick ass, and I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed that scene. I thought it was badass. Cool. I thought it was pretty freaking cool. I was like, oh shit, okay.
There was a part where oh my god, what's her name, Mucus? Whenever Zato started to beat up Vipera, she literally said, "I'm outie," and she got out of there. And it was like, is somebody on the is one of the writers a Clueless fan? They put a Clueless reference in there. I thought that was so cool.
Child, I like the fact that Mucus was not really here, because like Mucus kind of annoys me.
I actually like her. I actually like her, and it's funny to me that every time that the Rangers come around, she's like shook.
Well, I mean, honestly, I think that's because she already then got slashed and turned into goo like immediately when she first came. So I'd be kind of scared of them too. Like, I don't want them to turn me into goo like immediately. Like, girl, bye. Nah, I'm good. But yeah, like, I just find that really funny how all of a sudden, like, the monster gets beaten by Zato, and then of course, everybody gets unfrozen because obviously she froze everybody. And I'm like, is Buzz Blast kind of like CNN? Like, what exactly is Buzz Blast? Because like, I'm like, it shouldn't have affected the whole city like that. Like, I'm just like, I don't know what Buzz Blast is. Like, is it a news station? Is it like BuzzFeed? Like, what is it? They haven't yet really explained that. So I'm like, What you say, Lena?
I think they're confused themselves.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, it doesn't seem like they have a direction, and it seems like I feel like they're almost feeling it out to see what directions they should go with overall. Or maybe they want to be everything.
That's possible.
Yeah, that's possible. That's possible. I can see that. I it kind of feels like that's what they're heading for. It's just like they're all the media conglomerates all at the same time. Like, we're a news station, we're a TV station, we do like, social media stuff, like we're everything. So this is what we do. I kind of feel like that's more of the case.
And essentially, isn't that what a I guess a new age platform would want to be? They will want to be a news channel. They will want to be on top of social media.
Right. So I mean that may be what Buzz Blast is, to be honest. Like, it may be just all media conglomerates all rolled into one. Maybe they just haven't really solidified it. So it's like in this scene, it just didn't make sense. Like how it could reach almost everybody like instantly. It's just like, okay, this is a little far-fetched. Like, if this is supposed to be just a social media type thing, like, this is a little far-fetched, but okay, I'll take it. So yeah, maybe that might be what it is. But yeah, I find that I thought that was kind of cool. Now the Zord scene, with Zato and all of them, they first get in the Zord. Let's talk about that. Now, of course, you got Amelia and Ollie first jumping in the Zord for the first time, and they all excited. Like, what do you think about that? Like, how do you think about them piloting the Zord and them being in the Zord cockpit and all that stuff in the fight scene?
I thought it was cool. I think that this is I don't think that we normally see Rangers this excited to be in the Zords. I think that they established before that they knew about the Power Rangers before they became Rangers, so they know who the Power Rangers are. We saw in the episode prior they were really excited at the prospect of having Zords. So to actually be able to get inside it, I like that they followed through with that excitement. So it didn't bother me. I liked it.
I'm iffy on it.
Well, talk about it. Talk about it. What you iffy on? What's up?
Right.
What's up?
Let's talk it out. So
Let's talk it out.
Yes. I get the joke. Like, I get what they're trying to do. Like, they're in there, it's like, oh my God, this is crazy. Like, Ollie, we should take a selfie. Like, I get it, but we have a gigantic monster attacking ma'am. I would be far more concerned with my life right now than worried about taking a selfie. I feel like if I was writing that, I'd probably write that joke at the end. Like, after they blew up the monster, actually have them take a selfie. Like, oh my God, this is awesome. Come on, let's take this picture. Come on, get close. That's what I would have wrote. I would have preferred that, rather than them being so enamored by being in the Zord that you're like not paying attention to the giant monster to make a joke. It's like, really? Maybe if they were more experienced Power Rangers who like been battling monsters for 10 years, I get it. They're in a new Zord. It's like, oh yeah, let's take a selfie. I like this new Mega Zord. But you're like new. You should be far more concerned with your life. That's just me though.
I feel you. Actually, that's actually kind of funny that you say that, because I was thinking that I actually would have liked it if they kept it the way it was. And then at the very end, you kind of get like a voiceover of Amelia being like, okay, about that selfie though. Or something like that. Like, that would have been hilarious. I would have laughed.
Right?
Okay.
I would have hollered.
Yeah.
It should have been like, while the monsters exploding, you would have heard her be like, okay, about that selfie though. Like, I would have screamed.
I thought they were gonna do something like that, and then they did it. I was like, oh, well, okay, sure. But I think probably another reason why they're much more confident, being like, let's take a selfie versus focusing on what's going on, is probably because they have a lot of confidence in the fact that they know they're gonna do well. They know that they are gonna beat this evil monster. They know that they're gonna be able to save the city once again, right? So that's probably why they're like, yeah, whatever, selfie time. And also, it's kind of accurate to what's going on today's society, where we see a fire, or like a house on fire. What do? We pull out our phone, we film it, we take a selfie, we send it to our friends or family, whatever, right? Or we put it on social media. So I just feel like the fact that they wrote that was very true to how we would react today. Like let's say someone's chasing us. Instead of calling 911, we're calling our significant other, our friends, or whoever. Someone's chasing me. Well, have you considered calling 911? Just a thought, so it's kind of crazy that our immediate thought isn't what's going on at the moment. When we were growing up, we were taught anything might happen, emergency, 911, 911. But nowadays, it's the exact opposite. People want to film, record, take a photo, take a selfie before they even do the whole, oh yeah, that's right, let's call 911. So in a way, it kind of worked out, and that's true. Like, that's literally all of our reaction these days. We're not thinking about the immediate danger at hand. We're thinking there's enough time for a selfie, so we do one. Even though I don't agree with it, but that's exactly how our society is, and that's so for them to do that was almost sort of accurate to how we would react.
Yeah, I can see that. I actually never thought of it like that, but that makes perfect sense.
That is a good point.
I never actually thought of it like that, but that actually does make sense.
Yeah.
Because you do see that a lot. Yeah, you do see that a lot.
We've seen that, like, if somebody's out getting their ass kicked, instead of trying to break up the situation, you'll see like 10 people huddle around with their phones.
Facts. So now, Aaron, what do you think?
I see your point. Like, I really do. And I thought of that too. Like, I get the commentary that they're trying to make with this scene. It's just, it doesn't really make me like these characters that much as heroes. It's like I prefer my heroes to just focus,
That's true.
jokey joke afterwards.
That's
Focus right now.
I mean,
Well, I mean, they are green. They are green. I see what you're saying. I do see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think they're definitely playing into the aspect of like they're very, very new to it. So it's just kind of like, yeah, we are gonna fumble around and make mistakes. So that's why we have Zato, because he's the more
Right.
experienced one. That's why he called him out and was like, guys, we are fighting a monster. Can you focus?
Right.
And that's why and Amelia was immediately like, oh yeah. Right. Sorry. It was just like, okay, sorry about that. Yeah. So I see it. Like I feel like it's kind of like that happy medium between it's like being you have one person who is more experienced and you have the others who are like just fumbling around and he's kind of like just getting them together like, okay, focus people. And they're like, all right, bet. So I actually enjoyed that a little more. I'm just saying, I like when me personally, I love comedy that throws something out there and then revisit it like at the end of the scene to kind of like sum it up. Like that's my idea of like comedy, but that's just me.
Yeah. And you know what?
But
It's so lighthearted. Just kind of stays true to the fact that it's still Power Rangers. It's still a kids show at the end of the day. So can't be.
Yeah. So I mean, I thought it was cool, but whatever. But yeah, I definitely see where you're coming from because like in the old days, they would have never done that immediately. Like they were in there fighting Goldar and was like, yeah, we already know what we're doing, which is like, okay, but y'all
like
just got this Zord today.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, y'all just got in this Zord today. I need y'all to chill the fuck out. But like, stop it. But yeah, so we get to the end of the episode, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, okay, this is interesting because you get immediately like Zato, sends out this nice little message. And I love the visual behind that. That was such a beautiful visual of like the Earth and the planets and then like the galaxy and all that. I thought that was really cool. Like I thought the ending was dope. Like how they, had him send out that little message. Now, mind you, I don't necessarily believe they probably speak the same language, but hey, because I mean, they're aliens, but you speaking in English. I'm trying to figure this out.
I don't know. Maybe it's been translated
That's what I was
into.
gonna say. It could be auto translated. Like our phones these days, everything can get auto translated.
Maybe. I just found it funny. I was like, okay, all right, you speaking in English, and I'm pretty sure by now they probably speaking in a whole nother language. This has been 65 million years ago. So I'm like, all right, I'm pretty sure if they still alive, they've already probably mastered something else completely different. And they probably look different too. Maybe they did, maybe they do, maybe they don't. I don't know. But anyway, I just thought that was kind of cool. I was like, all right, that he's sending his little message and that's kind of how it ends. Thought that was dope.
Yeah. And you would think that, oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say you would think that this is going to be they're gonna follow through with this at some point, and I'm just wondering, like how is that? How are they going to do it? Because it's been millions of years, so you would think that his family is like dust at this point,
right? But then again, we don't
and
know much about their race either.
Yeah, and his planet was being attacked before he was frozen, right?
Well, no, his planet was already like done. That's why they came to Earth.
It was already done.
Okay. Like they were almost like destroyed. Like there were people still left, but like pretty much the sporks pretty much destroyed the whole planet. Like I mean, they weren't destroyed, like blown up to pieces, but they were pretty much like just ravaged.
It's like KO-35 and in space, pretty much.
Right. Exactly.
And who knows, in this long stretch of time, they could have gone back, and then there could be a whole civilization there now, but it's just completely different, obviously.
Right. Which I mean, hey, I could see it. I could see that happening. So who knows? I just find that very interesting. I'm like, oh, okay, this is a thing. This is a thing. We like it. Whatever. And that's where we end off. Now, episode 4. Now, we already know we're gonna be talking about Izzy up in this piece. You know what I'm saying? And Javi and Javi. But mostly Izzy, because it's no tea, no shade. I know this is supposed to be a Javi and Izzy episode, but baby, I'm sorry. This is Izzy's episode. I know this is supposed to be about both of them, but don't you get the idea that it was mainly more about Izzy than Javi?
Oh, of course.
I felt like the first half, well, maybe not even half, maybe it was I don't even know if I want to say 60-40. I feel like earlier in the episode it was about Javi, and then the rest of it was about Izzy and showcased Izzy.
Yeah. What do you think, Aaron?
Ooh. This episode, so I feel like it did start focusing like more on Izzy eventually. I mean, we had Javi in the beginning, like, hey, I'm trying to get this job. And then everything was about Izzy, and she's an athlete, and then she ran into her dad, and then she got to look for her brother. And yeah, it was a lot of Izzy, but at the same time, I feel like honestly, they didn't focus on the siblings enough for me, if that makes sense. Like, I feel
Really?
like there's a lot that we could have learned about the both of them in this episode. I mean, they gave us hints, and of course, it's just episode 4. But I feel like there's a lot more focus. It should have probably just been about them. But we had Zeta also looking for a job, and then he had to do the interview. I feel like they could have cut out that whole stuff about Zeta trying to get a job and just had Amelia do the interview. Like, hey, I need to do this interview. Can you 2 boys carry my equipment while I interview this woman? And then we could have spent more time on the siblings that way.
I don't know about. Well, I guess to that effect, it would still be about one of the Rangers, though. To that effect, it wouldn't be about Zeta, but it'd be about Amelia.
It's like going back to him, Aaron saying like how Zeto's getting a job. When they were going on about how he's getting a job, I was wondering how he was actually getting a job, in the sense that like, well, where's he living, and B, how is he a citizen already? Like what? And go on.
I was gonna say, I'm assuming with the technology that they have, that they just forged a bunch of stuff.
Well, I mean, illegal. Also too. Well, that's very illegal. Very
right.
But also too, I honestly, I don't even think that Jane is competent enough to even ask, because if you notice, like, she never even asked anything about where are you staying, or do you have a work visa or a license. Like, I mean, we didn't get none of that, which I'm honestly thinking that stuff didn't even come up, to be honest with you, because I'm like, I don't even think she asked. I don't think she's competent enough to even ask.
She's such a smart woman, right? So she obviously built her business from something, so it makes you wonder like how you build this whole entire business that you're running, and you're obviously rich enough to get J-board and stuff like that. So it makes you wonder, right? Like, how incompetent can you really be?
Well, maybe, or maybe, and I thought about this too, literally just now. Maybe it was like an audition where it was just like, because I know well, if she's doing it in like the acting world, in a sense, because I'm basically comparing the two. If she's doing it like that, because basically what she did was, it was kind of like an audition, in a sense, where it was like, oh, well, here's your first story. And I guess if he would have gotten a job, maybe then she would have been like, okay, so license, any work form or ID, whatever, let's go ahead and get you logged in. So maybe that's what it is, where she wanted him to do the audition first, then it'd be like, all right, you got the job, now information. You know what I'm saying? So maybe it was that. I don't know. Like, it could have been that.
That's true.
It very easily could have been that. But I mean, I don't know. I guess for me, I didn't even think of that. I didn't think of none of that, to be honest. I just thought it was funny that as far as for me, I guess I thought they did very well with mainly with Izzy, because I did kind of feel like Javi was kind of like an afterthought when it came to Izzy. As soon as they introduced her, it was just like they just ran with it, and they were just like Izzy. But Javi did kind of come in, but I do kind of feel like it was like 70-30 when it comes to the siblings. But I do kind of feel like they did a okay job with introducing them. I think that if we would have had any more of them, I think that it would have been the story wouldn't have made sense. And there would have been a lot that needed to be cut out because or added or whatever. I think it would have been a little topsy-turvy if we added any more than what we had, only because of the fact that you needed the Rangers to bring them in, but also it was like you had to give them some kind of reason to have both of them be there at the same time. Like they had to give them something. So like I didn't too much mind them being there, like how they were introduced. My issue is they should have took out Jane and Jay Borg in this episode. They shouldn't have been here. And maybe that would have probably gave them a little more time to spend on Javi and Izzy. I think that if they cut those two out just for this episode, I think it probably would have balanced that out more. But as far as Zato being introducing them or whatever, I think they needed them in order to introduce the two. But I personally think that what we got, I think it was okay. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's where I am. It's just okay to me. But like, just to go back to this job thing with Zato, it bothered me. I didn't even think of the stuff that Lena said. I mean, it's a good point. It just adds to it. But what I thought about is that, okay, this man is a 65 million year old alien. He's been frozen. Why does he need a job?
Right?
And why would he have the credentials to be a reporter? I'm confused.
What I got from that was they probably need him to do something outside of just being in the command center. Maybe familiarize himself with the people in the town, and by getting a job, he can pull some sort of weight. I don't know. And then I also was thinking of just Amelia. She has the job at Buzz Blast, so she probably thought, oh, well, I work here, so let's just get you a job here. I don't know exactly, because I don't know. Like, I guess he's just staying in the base. I mean, and just being a Power Ranger, but I guess maybe they wanted to have him have a life outside of that.
Okay, but what is Ollie doing other than following Amelia around?
We don't know yet.
He follows his mom around. I don't know.
We have no idea. They haven't.
Well, dang.
They haven't gone into his backstory yet.
I mean, these are all plausible questions because I was thinking the same thing. Like, what does this dude do? Right? Like, aside from following his mama, like, what he do?
Right. So, like, I'm just saying, like, we're trying to get Zato a job. What about you, Ollie? What are you doing? What are you up to?
Ciao. But anywho, so both of them end up, getting their little stories and whatnot.
Oh, hold on, Brandon. Hold on. I'm sorry. I just have to say this part right here. It's just.
Oh, go ahead.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like it is a little nitpicky of me, but I don't like them calling like, oh, I'm applying to be a reporter. You need a degree to be that, baby. I don't. Reporter,
not in Power Rangers world.
Well, right.
Apparently
now,
not. Because
now let's think about this show now.
And you don't have
let's think about this show
either.
Okay, let's think about this show because people be getting jobs through nepotism all the time.
Mhm.
Like, now let's think about this. Like, oh, you know somebody? Oh, I'm gonna have you be a whole scientist. Oh, you just met them yesterday? Oh, they are gonna run a whole ship. You know what I'm saying? Like, this show does this all the time, buddy. But
it does, and I don't like it every time they do it. But it's just I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's just something I gotta just let go. But yeah, I'm like reporter. What?
I'm with you there, and you don't have to.
No, I'm with you though. Yeah,
yeah.
I was like, why not? I mean, you from what I've seen, at first I was trying to be hopeful, like from episode 1, like, okay, Amelia probably is a reporter. She probably went to school. But as things go on, like clearly she didn't. And you guys are just like you're bloggers and vloggers, and that's fine, or social commenters, but reporter.
Now, I will say this. The world of journalism has changed to the point where you don't really need a degree anymore. All you need is a smartphone and that's it. Like, I mean, that's really what this has become, which is another reason why I left the industry. So for me, I mean, it's not too out of the ordinary, but in Power Rangers, of course, it's always going to be amped up. So, I mean, it does kind of like sound crazy.
Sorry.
No, I feel you. No, I feel you 100%. Like, Power Rangers definitely made it like, what the heck? But then also at the same time, I'm like, I've seen plenty of people get jobs, at like places like TMZ or whatever, and they don't have not one degree, but they running out here doing full behind stories. Like, I mean, like I've seen it happen. I know a couple of people who've done that. So it's just kind of like, all you did was post up stuff and blog, and now you got a full job at somebody's TMZ. Like that is insane. But and here I am with 2 degrees, and I'm like, so Exactly. It is what it is.
Just don't call yourself a reporter. Maybe, I don't know if that makes me sound elitist. It's not like I'm a reporter, but like,
you have a degree and you went to school for a specific thing. So no, like I feel you exactly where you're coming from, because I agree. It's like, what did I go to school for? Like, like I went to school for this. So how do you get to do this? And yeah.
All right, you see me. We see each other. Got it.
Right. No, we see each other. No, I hear you. I'm with you 100%. No, I hear you. Oh, child, no. But but yeah, so they end up, they go their separate ways doing their little piece of stories. And I thought it was cute how Zato, was telling her, oh, I'm a knight, and he shows her how to throw the javelin, which plays all through this episode. Mm-hmm. Her getting that practice with that javelin, honey. I'm like, how many times this girl gonna use this javelin? But anyway, but he helping her with the javelin. She finally get the little interview with her and all this stuff, and he's doing a little piece of story. Javi at the little place with the orb and everything, and then the monsters attack. Now, I'm sorry. Now, I understand that they trying to make him obviously be a hero and all this stuff, and and all this. But I'm sorry, any other normal person would have hauled ass when they seen some aliens come appearing and come jack something. Like, they would have been running. Like, they wouldn't have been hiding behind something talking about, let me call the Ranger hotline. Nah, they would have dipped. Like, they would have been like, nah, bump this. Like, But he went ahead and called the Ranger hotline, and then he get the courage to want to follow the monsters out. And of course, the Rangers, they come in. Now, y'all, can we talk about this for a second? What was Warden Garcia gonna do?
I knew it.
Oh, right.
I knew it.
You know what? You know what? I think with the original idea of what Warden Garcia was supposed to be, they kind of kept the plot lines, but just changed his role because he was originally supposed to be the sheriff.
Right.
I think
Right. No, yeah.
yeah. So
I mean, we know that was supposed to be the case, but at the same time, though, still, even if Warden, sheriff, what was he supposed to do? Like,
it's not like he could have pulled his gun out either, even if he was the sheriff. I don't think they could have did that on fire. Yeah, I don't know. More guts than brains, I guess. I don't know.
Well, bravery runs in the family.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's stupidity. Stupidity runs in the family. Because ain't no doggone way. I am sorry. Ain't no way you gonna try to get me to be on something like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go run after child. No. That monster blasted his behind and he went flying, looking dumb. I'm like, now see, Warden Garcia, that's what you get. That's what you get. You look stupid. You look dumb. But then of course you got the Rangers, they do their little thing or whatever, they fighting. And of course the monsters get away, and so does and then Javi drive away with the orb. Now, okay, and and Mucus attaches himself to the car and drives away. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I just find it very interesting. I find it very interesting. The Rangers I'm kind of lost on this, and maybe y'all can help me out. Did the Rangers take Warden Garcia back to his place of work, or did they take him to the hospital? Where did they take him?
Hospital. Yeah.
Oh, it was the hospital, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was like, this looks like the outer the scenery of the sheriff station. But I was kind of confused for a second.
Probably is. They probably just changed the sign.
Right. I was like, this looks like the outer scenery for the okay, all right, never mind.
Or they could all be in the same place, just different stores.
Oh no, that's just weird.
It is a small town. I've seen weirder stuff too. But it is a small town, so you never know. Like you go to the back door, it is the hospital. You go to the front door, it's the sheriff hospital. Like, what is his job? I don't even know.
He's supposed to be what, like the warden for the park.
The park warden.
Yeah, the park warden.
Oh wow.
So
why a sheriff? That would have sounded so much better.
Well, I mean, Black Lives Matter.
They're not trying to do police stuff.
We've talked about this.
I know.
Like I mean, and I'm glad they didn't do it, because child, if had they done it, it would have been like Ninja Steel all over again. So I'm glad they didn't make him a sheriff. I'm so glad.
I'm glad they didn't either, but they kept the script this way, so it just feels all weird.
Right. It would have made more sense if they didn't, if they changed it a little bit, if they tweaked it.
Exactly, and that's my issue, right? It's like, I feel like, yes, I get why they didn't do it, but at the same time, the script just all screwy now. So none of it really makes any sense, and it got us all thinking about it because we're grown.
Right.
And we get things.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. Like, I think this would have went better if the orb was at the park, like, because the parks be having exhibits all the time. So it's like, if the orb was at the park exhibit or something like that, and it was like, oh, they now have to go back to the park, and everything's happening at the park. So it would make sense to have the warden there. You know what I'm saying? Like, that would probably make more sense.
Yeah.
Than it just being somewhere random, and then it's like, now you got the park. Now you got the park warden there, and he just pops up randomly, like, "Hey, like, what is this? What are you doing?" So yeah, I think that would have made more sense for sure. But yeah, so the Rangers, take him to the hospital, and then you got Izzy being like, "Hey, daddy." Well, stepdaddy. She's just like,
how long ago she joined the family, because she seemed way too comfortable. Not that you can't be comfortable, but usually, when you are married into the family, you're not as accepting right away, and they seem to have like a whole ass relationship. So it makes me wonder how long ago that she joined their family.
I would assume that it I mean, because of the comfortability, I would think that it's been a while.
Yeah, yeah, but I wonder.
Yeah, she seemed like she kind of grew up with him.
Yeah, I would think that because she calls him dad. So I
Yeah.
would think she grew up with him.
Mhm.
Yeah, it would
Yeah.
be nice. Like Aaron says, would have been nice if we got a little bit more of a backstory. As to how long they've been, she's been in the family, kind of a thing. I wonder
I
if
mean,
it's her mom.
We could get that
I
next week.
Yeah, I think we probably get that later on. Like, I don't think that was needed like right away.
Ugh,
I don't think that's something that's needed right away.
so it's needed right away. We need it right away.
Well, for you, yeah,
Remember,
for you, you need it right away. Like, I
And
don't
listen,
know. Like, for me, it didn't bother me.
Remember, this is 22 episodes, so we have time.
We got plenty of time. Now, granted, if they don't touch it at all, then it's a problem.
Then, yes, yeah.
But I mean, it didn't bother me.
Yeah, I would say like if we're at episode like 15 and we still don't know these things, then that's an issue.
Right, right. But yeah, so she's all giddy and she's like, well, I'll help you. She's just like, well, I'll help y'all find my brother. And she's like, well, Dad don't like it when Javi play his music. I'm like, oh, here comes the drama. There's the drama we've been looking for. There's the drama, because like we said before in past couple episodes, it was like, we know that there's going to be some drama between one of the siblings and the dad. And as soon as she said that, I said, oh, here we go. There's the drama. It's the son and the dad, not the stepdaughter and the dad. It's the son and the dad. Ah, okay, I see you. And that's kind of messed up in a sense if you think about it, because it's like if your own biological father got a problem with you, but he likes the stepchild more than he likes his own child.
Right?
Child, that's some issues right there. That's some problems.
And this is why I was curious as to how long she's been in the family, because she seems like his perfect child. She's like, what was that quote that she was saying about how talking about practicing or whatever, and he made the comment, and she's like, oh yeah, see, he's okay, he's all right, because he's questioning about my practices and if I train hard enough or whatever.
Right.
I think he asked her how the practice
was practiced. Yeah.
Right. So see, it makes me wonder, and that's why I was wondering like how long she's been in the fam, right? Like, was it right from the beginning or whatever? Because he seems to really connect with her, and she seems to be like his poster child. So
just to clarify, so the warden is Izzy's stepfather, but he's the biological father of Javi.
Correct.
Okay. And so Izzy also has his last name, huh?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Very close family. Okay.
Right? You see why I was
right.
Yeah.
Maybe it happened when she was like really little.
Probably could have.
Either way, this is why we wanted to find out this episode, not 10, 30, 40, whatever episodes later, okay?
But even then though, like that's implausible. This is a 30-minute show. Now maybe if it was an hour, then maybe we can visit that. But I don't think that was needed for a 30-minute episode. I just don't.
I mean, they obviously squeezed enough in that Aceto could get a job, and he's not even a real citizen. Okay, I'm just saying they could squeeze that in there.
No, that's part of the story. Like, I mean, like that's something that was needed to bring the characters in. Like, I don't necessarily believe we needed that right away. I just don't. I don't think we needed it. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. But I don't think we needed all of that.
If he was trying to get a job as a janitor, I would have fell for that. Then maybe like Amelia's like, no, we gotta like, go big. Let's get you the interview job. That would have been I would have been fine with that. But
girl, you still on this interview thing, huh? You still on this interview thing, huh? No, I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, it's just one of those situations where it's just like I just feel like it's just Power Rangers. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just Power
Mhm.
Rangers. Like Power Rangers is always gonna do the more wild, quirky thing versus like any realistic thing that would ever happen in real life.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they're always gonna go for the more wild and wacky. Like
know-
it's
I just realized something because Izzy looks more like the Warren Garcia's daughter versus Javi. I wonder what their mom looks like if we would ever get to see her.
I hope we do.
I hope we do. But yeah, so she goes and she helps him. He drives the truck to some wooded area, which I'm like, this is perfect for a horror movie where
What?
obviously Javi would die.
This is how you die in the woods. In the
I'm
middle.
like, sir, this looked like something from like Cabin in the Woods or some mess. I'm like,
Really?
what is happening?
Mind you, Cabin in the Woods was fucked up, okay? Fucked
Oh,
up.
it was very fucked up.
And if you guys don't know, Anna Hutcher, what's her last name?
Hutchinson?
Yeah, she was in it. Cabin in the Woods. Yep,
Yes.
that's right. Definitely go check it out.
But
Gory ending.
yeah.
Very
Oh yeah, that was disgusting. But we're not talking about gory movies right now. we're talking about Power
We're
Rangers.
going to the middle of the forest in the middle of nowhere. Horror movie.
But you know, he's running and then the monsters find him, they catch him, and you know, he's trying to run from them, but obviously to no avail, they still catch up with him. Izzy throws that doggone javelin.
Exactly.
I'm like, here she go.
Exactly the scene of a horror movie. Sorry. That's all I had to say.
Okay. But Izzy throws that doggone javelin, knocks it out his hand, and then of course they come in. You know, the Rangers do their thing, and Izzy and Javi grabs the orb. Now, here comes the big moment. The big moment where everybody's all been waiting for. Izzy and Javi become Rangers. And Izzy says, hold that thought. And she grabs that skirt and go rip and says, skirts are not my thing. Now, let's talk about this because this is the point that I've been wanting to get to. Now, the people have been, now for the most part, I've seen a lot of comments of people being extremely supportive and just been like, yes, we love it. We love it. And then we have some people. We got some people who, for the most part, had the argument of either why was this needed? Why didn't they just have her not wear a skirt the first time? Or what does her ripping off a skirt? Why is her ripping off a skirt so important? To that, I'm going to answer it with one quote, with one phrase. Women empowerment. Like, I don't understand. I do not understand why people can't let women be great. Like, you do realize that there are more than just boys on this show. I understand this is a boy-driven show, always has been, but they have women characters that are just as strong and is just as cool as the boys. Sometimes even cooler, depending on the season.
I was about to
So
say
it's
that.
like, come on now. Like, I don't understand how y'all can sit here and have so much to say about a girl defining who she is in this show. I just don't understand. Maybe y'all can clarify this for me. But I'm just trying to figure out why do y'all hate women so much? I just want to know.
But her ripping off the skirt is everything. So we can be wearing pants and still get the job done. It doesn't have to mean like we have to wear skirts in order to get the same job done. It's not necessary. It's just not necessary, you know?
I think that it's more it means more to hear a female fan talk about it than any of us really, because that you would be in that situation to wear a skirt. I don't know. It's silly. It's really silly. It's not a big deal. We've had girls not have skirts before because they came from the Sentai being a male. We've had what Sid from SPD. She both girls, they didn't have skirts because they just didn't have skirts for that season. And we've had girls we've had teams where both girls have skirts. It's not a big deal. It's just not a big deal, and it's not going to change anything about the season. It was just like a character quirk. We kind of learned something about her, and it was a pretty it was a like I think a defining moment that we haven't really seen for a ranger, let alone a female ranger, for quite some time to do something like that. I thought it was just a really cool moment, but I just don't see why some people are up in arms about it. That's just ridiculous.
Aaron?
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I don't know why there's so much discussion about this, like negative discussion. Like I saw the scene, it was a cute scene. I don't understand why it's like, well, why did they do this? Like, why not? I don't really what's the issue here that they just want to explain like, oh, 65 million years ago, a female warrior was the Green Ranger and she had a skirt and she was fine with it. Now, in the present time, we have another female warrior that's green, but she doesn't want a skirt on it. So she tore it off. And that's it. There's nothing more deep than that, I guess. I just don't understand the hate for it. It's like being mad that RPM explained why they have explosions when they morph or something. I don't understand this.
And it's so funny that you even said that because nobody had an issue with the show being that meta. But now all of a sudden they do something else meta, and now it's like, oh my God, the world is ending. It's like I don't understand it. I don't understand why. Like you said, you don't understand the argument behind a piece of fabric. It's a skirt. Like I don't get it. And plus, they did that to make the footage go smoother.
Yeah.
Because obviously they're going to be using Japanese footage. So it's like, okay, well, just go ahead and just, make just take off the skirt and just have her not wearing a skirt, which is fine. So it's just like, I don't understand the fans being so angry about a piece of fabric. I don't get it, but
weirdos. But I guess anything kind of tied to like women's rights, so it makes some people lose their minds, I guess.
I mean, the arguments like SWJs, they're just trying to make people. It's just like, oh my God, cut it out. Like, just stop. Like, if you hate women, just say that. Like, I mean, I'm just saying, if you hate anything other than white men, just say that. Just say that. I mean, obviously you won't, but I'm just like, I don't understand the arguments. Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. But anywho, so Izzy is a whole badass in the scene. Like, first of all, the image of her throwing the skirt away and it's just floating. I'm like, yes, honey. But she's being a badass and throwing the javelin, then flipping off the javelin, and then slashing the boom tower. I was like, you better do it. And then Javi doing all the little flippy doos and grab the dragon, a sporks beast, and slam him up against a tree. I'm like, well, damn. So I'm like, they're showing out. Like the little new team, to me, they showed out more than Ollie and Amelia, to be honest with you. But, they showed off and, they're doing all the things. The sporks beast grow. Then everybody called the Zords. They jump into the Megazord. And Izzy and Javi have their little moment in the Megazord too. Now, this time it wasn't as big as Amelia and Ollie, but they have a little moment with, Izzy asking, can she play music?
Of course. It's all about that playlist.
I thought that was a callback to Kimberly. Hey, nice stereo.
What?
My thing is, I'm like, their cockpits, nor did Kimberly's cockpit never looked like it had a stereo. So I'm like, I never understood the references. But okay, I was just like, I'll go with it.
And she thought there was a stereo.
Right. Every time Kimberly always says nice stereo, I'm like, what is she looking at? Because when we actually got to look at the controls, I'm like, where's the stereo system?
I mean, to be fair, we all now know that Amy Jo was high in a lot of her Megazord scenes.
Oh my god.
I mean,
oh my gosh.
Like, I'm just saying, like it is, you know. Amy Jo was high when she was filming those scenes. So whatever stereo she was looking at, it was obviously very bright and clear in her eyes.
Oh my goodness. But you know, they do their little thing, and you know, everybody just apparently knew how to kick, to use the little Zord slashing technique and all this stuff. They just knew automatically, you know, this is Power Rangers. So they destroy the monster and they head back to the little command center, the little base, and they are all amazed to know that, hey, that Ali and Zato and Amelia were the Rangers. So it's like, oh my god. And then they met, you know, little Solon, who asked them, can they get something to eat? I'm like, no, Solon, you trying to say they look anorexic or they look malnourished?
No,
what you trying to say?
She was just trying to be a good host, okay? Like, they knew she wants them to stay.
Yes. No, she said, y'all look hungry. Can I get you something to eat?
Well,
you don't tell nobody they look hungry.
I would be hungry after Megazord scene too, you know? Like, shit, I just became a Power Ranger. I ripped off my skirt. Now I just start a whole ass monster in a Megazord. Heck, I'll be hungry too. Give me them food.
Girl, no. Like, she literally went, y'all look hungry. Like, y'all look like y'all starving. And I'ma feed y'all because y'all mamas ain't feeding y'all at home. Sounded like somebody grandma. Oh, baby, you eating? Let me fix you something to eat.
Technically, she is old enough to be a grandmother. She's like 65 billion years old, okay? Just saying.
She old enough to be dead.
Oh my god.
Now let's call it what it is.
Wow.
Aaron, what do you think? You get in on this action.
Oh my goodness. No comment.
Oh my
I really have nothing to say. I mean, to be honest, I don't even remember this. I just remember them. I remember them in the base. I remember them demorphing, and that's kind of it. And I don't.
Oh wow.
But what I will say though, I love the fact that this has never happened. Okay, you guys can totally call me out on it if it did. But I love how when Mucus wanted to follow Javi.
Well, that's his full name, right?
I mean, that's his full name.
Yeah.
I know. and she's like, it's morphin time. And splat.
Oh yeah, that was your favorite part.
That's my favorite part. I think it's just because like I've never actually hear a monster actually say it. And the fact that she literally did more from like a whole being to like a mucus, brilliant. It was just perfect, you know.
Well, I mean, hey. This show had its moments. This episode was cute. I really liked it, but mostly for the most part, I liked the Izzy stuff for the whole episode. But let's just go ahead and let's just go ahead and rate it. Like, so
separately or as a whole?
Separately.
Okay.
So for the episode 3 and then episode 4, I would give episode 3, I would say, honestly, I like them both. So I'm just gonna go with 5. 5s across because I really liked them both. I really had no issues with them. At all. So I'm just go 5.
I'm gonna have to go with 4.5 for the second episode, just because the interview thing. I'm kidding. But 4.5. 4.5 for both. For its own little reasons. but not like major enough that it's gonna, ruin the show for me. But definitely 4.5 for me for both.
For 3, I enjoyed 3. I think that out of 5, I would give it I give it like a 4. For episode 4, I loved it. I loved it. I honestly I would give it a 5.
Whew. Oh my. I can't.
Well, what do you think?
I can't even remember the last time I've given like anything a 5. And I don't think I've ever done it like on a YouTube video, but like episodes, like seasons older than that, I can't even, maybe RPM, but yeah.
That makes sense.
But episode 3, I'd probably give a 3. I thought it was decent. And the same with episode 4. Both of them would get a 3 from me. I'm the lowest one.
That's okay.
It's it's decent. It's just like some of the slapstick I really don't like, and some of the jokes are kind of hit or miss for me. And so that's kind of just the reason for my score. And like I said earlier, I kind of want more story from this, and we're not getting it as of yet. But I'm gonna remain hopeful that we learn some stuff. I'm interested in the dynamic between Javi and his dad, so looking forward to that.
That would be interesting.
Well, that should be coming up soon because there's an episode of it. Episode 7, actually.
Oh.
Nice. So I hope that his dad is kind of acting, like the mom from Sister Act 2, just
that's exactly what I was thinking of.
Music don't pay the bills around here.
Okay. Music does not pay the bills. Music does not put food on the table. Okay. Now this is what we want. We want Sister Act 2 up in Power Rangers, okay? Shoot. Now that would be something. And then all of a sudden you just see Javi stand on the stage. Joyful. Oh, yeah. That would be wonderful.
That's what we need.
Yes. I love it.
I really like the fact that just in 4 episodes we've kind of established each ranger's personality, and I legitimately like all 5 of them, and I feel like they all have so far pretty good chemistry together. Like we've seen certain ones paired off. It'll be interesting to see going forward. Like Javi's chemistry with Zato, Javi's chemistry with Amelia, and Ali, and then the girls' chemistry together. Like it'll be interesting to see them doing different mixes going forward.
I feel like if we're gonna do a review of episode 4, we have to mention this whether we like it or not. Coolio, you guys.
Oh my god, that made me laugh. That actually made me laugh because it was so. We didn't really talk about just that whole the whole thing with Ali and Amelia leading him into the interview.
Right.
And then it looked like he was nervous. It looked like he was actually nervous. And then him doing that coolio thing. And then Ali telling him not to tell Amelia that he told him to do that, because she was looking at him like he was crazy when he said that. And then later on, he said he ended up doing it, talking to Jane. And then he said, "Oh, my friend Ali taught me that." And then Ali was looking at him like, "Why did you say that out loud?" And then
he's like,
I think he said something like, Amelia. Oh, Ali didn't. Ali.
No,
didn't.
he was like, I'm sorry, Ollie. And Amelia, you're not supposed to hear that.
Right. Which now that makes me think like he cares about what Amelia thinks. So why does he care about what you think?
I mean, it could also be because the fact that she like it could just be as simple as because that's kind of embarrassing, the fact that she gave him such a weird look that now he's embarrassed by it, right? It could be as easy as that. It might not be as deep as we want it to be.
Mhm.
I guess just
Right.
people's reaction, right? I think just overall as like I think I mean, as simple as like us into society, we want to be accepted, right? We want to be liked,
Mhm.
and so we morph ourselves to be a certain way or a certain type so that we are accepted, right? So by doing certain things, we're not accepted by our peers, and I guess Sato kind of figured that out already, where he's like, oh, what? Sorry, not Sato. Ollie, where he's like, oh, Amelia does not accept that. Okay, maybe I should not show him that, but now it's too late because now he knows it, right? And now he's doing it. So
Everyone liked that line, like the joke. Is that what I'm
I
getting?
thought it was funny. I mean, I
I
didn't.
thought
It didn't
was
bother
funny.
me.
Yeah, because it was supposed to be cheesy and like corny,
Right.
but he
That's
didn't
what they were going for.
understand. He didn't even understand that.
yeah, that's what I love.
I guess for me, the thing I liked about the joke is that it was supposed to be silly and corny, and obviously everybody else who heard it was like,
Yeah.
"Okay, this is terrible."
almost
So I actually like that.
right?
I take it you didn't like it.
It's not that simple. It was kind of like hit or miss for me. Like when he first said it, I was like, "Oh my god, Power Rangers, why?" But then when Ollie had pulled him aside and said, "Don't tell Amelia I taught you that," I kind of laughed. I'm like, "Oh, okay." He got that from me. He didn't just make this up out of thin air. Okay, thank God. I liked it. And then when I rewind it and I watched him say Coolio for the first time, and then I looked at Ollie's reaction, he was like a proud big brother. He's like, "Yeah,
Right.
you gonna kill him with that. Yeah, Coolio."
And
And then Amelia was like, "What?"
What?
Yeah.
And that's what I loved about it. I loved the fact that it was just kind of like, it's one of those things where it's like, they think it's cool, and literally everybody else is like, "What are you doing?"
Right.
Like, you sound dumb.
Right. And this is why Ollie wanted to hide, because when he saw Amelia's face, he's like, never mind. It sounded way cooler in my head. Okay.
I also like the end, Javi got the reporter job over Zato. And when Jan was telling Zato, she was like, so close, but no Chihuahua. And Zato was like, so anyway, congratulations, Javi.
Yes, that too. That was really funny. And this isn't the first time that he's done that. Like there'll be an awkward moment and then he just breaks the awkwardness suddenly and then goes on to another topic. I like that.
Yeah, he does that pretty well.
Yeah, I think that just kind of goes into the show for me. It's just kind of like, I don't know, like it's just kind of like this is the reason why I say that nothing really bothered me, because there was nothing that really just like stood out that was like, oh my god, this is terrible. In these episodes, they just all kind of seem like, oh, this is Power Rangers to me. Like, trust me, when there's something that's standing out and there's like, holy crap, like what the heck is this? Then I'm like, all right, like this is bad. But for the most part, I really didn't get that. Everything was just pretty much like, all right, this is standard Power Rangers. Nothing too glaring. So I was like, all right, cool. I'm cool with it. Now, of course, this is only 4 episodes. So we still got a whole lot more to go, So everybody, please keep listening, because I'm pretty sure 9 times out of 10, this is Power Rangers, so they might end up doing something that's gonna make me mad. But anyway, so more than likely, yeah, you're gonna hear some stuff come out of my mouth. But other than that, so far so good. Well, my name is Brandon.
My name is Lena.
I'm Will.
And I'm Arron, aka ASDECLASSIFIED.
Hey. First of all, I just love that name. I'm sorry, but anyway, I just love it. I love the name.
Well,
but thank you for coming. Thank you for coming, sir. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, guys. I love
Anytime.
the podcast. I love being on here.
Of course. Love having you on it. You kidding?
Yes.
You better stop before we have you come back more often.
Right? That was a party.
That's fine with me.
Oh goodness. All right. Well, thank you all for listening, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Later.